A family in Minnesota's Lakes Country has made a business out of harvesting maple sap and turning it into fresh maple syrup. Stu Peterson and his family run Camp Aquila Pure Maple Syrup on Star Lake near Dent. As Katie Pinky found, a former boys' camp is the perfect place for this venture.
What started out as a hobby is now a successful agribusiness in rural Minnesota.
The flavor of good maple syrup is uncomparable.
Camp Aquila was a camp for boys from the 1950s to the 1970s. Stu Peterson and his wife Corinne bought it in 1983. It is 120 wooded acres with thousands of maple trees on most of it.
We got trees.
The Petersons started tapping the trees for sap as a hobby in 2000.
And for 20 years, we were weekenders out of the cities. Well, I just want to check the barrel here to see how it ran overnight. We started tapping our first tree in the year 2000, and we started our own little food company.
The Petersons Maple Syrup Company has just continued to grow since then. This year, they have collected and processed about 8,200 gallons of maple sap from 1,200 trees. That boils down to about 240 gallons of syrup.
Our best year, I think we made 370 gallons.
And they sell every drop they produce. Still, their operation is nothing like the major producers in Vermont and New York.
We're small peanuts compared to the big producers. We're pretty labor intensive the way we do it, and it's what we can handle. It's sized for my wife and I. And the kids, when they show up, when the sap's running.
Although Peterson didn't grow up on a farm, he did have a career in ag finance before buying the camp. He says he does have a few things in common with conventional farmers.
A number of my former customers in my other life were the sugar beet operations. And so they've got their big sugar factory, and we got our little sugar factory. No one ever builds a sugar house big enough. They harvest in the fall, we harvest in the spring.
Peterson says Minnesota has seen a huge growth in collecting sap as a hobby over the last few years.
Just people tapping 5, 10, 15, 20 trees is just phenomenal. I couldn't begin to estimate how many there are, but especially in this area, a lot of maples, a lot of row parcels.
Peterson says they maintain this as a natural wood lot with limited selective cuttings. He says attention to detail gives small producers like them an advantage over bigger ones.
There's something about the trees in Minnesota, the sugar maples, and our soils. Minnesota producers do very well in the national and international competitions.
Near Dent, Minnesota, this is Katie Pinky for AGWEEK.
The Petersons sell their syrup at about 30 stores around Minnesota. For more information, you can go to campaquilasyrup.com. Thanks for watching AgWeek TV on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out new videos every Saturday.